I am mere days away from the final cancellation of Rob Wilson from vidIQ.
I have succeeded. I have controlling interest of vidIQ. I bought 51% shares. You're fired.
That is it. I'm out of here. I have had a lucrative offer.
What?
And I think it is time.
No! 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 No!
Au
No!
revoir.
Don't let him say it! Don't let him say it! Come to
Decided.
me! That's right. A new era has begun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Savage IQ live stream where we will do audits, but audits cost $29.95 every 5 minutes. You see, I've taken a book. I've taken the page out of the book of Elon, right? I bought most of vidIQ. I fired everybody. And now you're going to have to pay me to audit your channels. We got rid of Rob. He's gone. We got rid of Dan and Viper and all those guys. Got rid of all of them. But much like Elon, I found that I can't do it by myself, so I had to rehire everybody, but thankfully I did it at half their normal wage, so I'm saving a lot of money. So here's what's going to happen. Rob's gone. I've canceled him like I said I would. Y'all didn't think I could do it, but I did it. But today I've brought back, hired at a much more discounted rate, Dan and Jeff and Viper and whoever else I feel like putting on there. By the way, running a business is hard. I don't like this at all. It's really quite terrible. So anyway, I'm going to go eat some Subway sandwiches here in a minute. And for the time being, why don't you go ahead and watch these guys and maybe they'll try to help you out with their channel or something. I don't know.
And joining us once again, as always, is Jeff. Jeff is here. How's it going?
Doing well, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm having some connectivity issues in the background, but I think everything is sorted. Not sure what's going on today. And then, of course, our other fellow auditor is Viper. How's it going, Viper?
Whoa, dude. Whoa, did we get hacked? Did we get hacked? I don't know.
I don't know. Everything's acting all funky today. I have no idea what's going on. But welcome to everybody. So how this works is every single week we take a look at your YouTube channels. We are going to be checking out all the things you're doing and giving you as much advice as possible. And we do have a little bit of a tutorial that's going to explain how this works for anybody who is new. And it takes less than a minute.
Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description, and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it, and maybe put in time. After the live stream, don't forget to download the vidIQ extension where you can get custom channel audit, daily ideas, and AI-powered video title generator. Link is in the description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
All right. Cool. Any questions for anybody while I get the screen up? Any last-minute comments before we start?
I don't know what's going on today. But I got nothing. I got nothing right now.
Nah, we just had a little bit of echo when that video played, so that was the only issue there. But just technical difficulties ever since the takeover. So.
Everything, yeah. You know what happened is I looked at my paycheck this week, and it was like half the size it normally is, and I'm still trying to figure that out. Don't know what's going on there. And also, everything isn't working the way it usually is. It's almost as if someone isn't paying the server bills around here. So I don't know. You're probably going to see a lot of technical glitches now. We got a new boss or something. So I have no idea
something's going on, man. But yeah, stuff is not looking right. So we need to audit our paychecks as well as these channels. So.
So we've gone ahead and pre-selected some channels, and then later we'll be doing random selection. The first channel who managed to submit on one of the two forms down below was Paul Watts. This is our first non-gaming channel that managed to submit today, and they have almost 100,000 subscribers. I was actually really surprised to see a channel doing relatively well in subscriber size get in there first. So this person's serious. They've been waiting to submit their channel. They got in at the right time. So we want to try and start out, give some advice to Paul Watts Hair, who, when you look at their videos from 4 days ago, 7 days ago, 2 weeks, a lot of them aren't getting 1,000 views. And I would be very concerned with view counts like this for my subscriber size. I'd be asking this question, like, what's going on? So why don't we start with you, Viper? Any first initial impressions as you look at this channel?
All right. So right off the bat, if we look at the very first row of the most recent videos, the thumbnails are exactly. Oh no, they look almost exactly. They're not. They're not the same, but they look the same. So we talk about this before in the live stream, but when your thumbnails are that similar, some of your subscribers might not watch the second video because they feel like they already seen it because the thumbnail looks so much alike. I mean, hell, I almost thought they were the same thing, but they're not actually. But so yeah, the thumbnails definitely be careful with not making them look too similar to each other. The other thing is you brought up a very good point about the subscriber, the views that they're getting for the amount of subscribers that they have. And I wonder if there must have been like a recent pivot to the channel or some type of change in content, because normally when something like this happens, it might be due to like a change in content or something that happened to the channel. Because I agree with you, Dan. For a channel that almost has 100K subscribers, getting less than 1,000 views on a video makes no sense. Like there's just no rhyme or reason for that. So something happened with the channel. And I think we need to try to figure out what's going on. How did that happen?
Jeff, what are you seeing as we look at this channel?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tend to agree with Viper on that, and it could be just that there could be a lot of competition in the space, which I'm assuming there probably is. Two, if they're creating thumbnails in a vacuum where they're not looking at what's actually out there working, this could be working against them. Three, it could be the video topics themselves. It could be that some of the stuff just is not hitting at this time. With a lot of these channels, you'll tend to see a lot of evergreen plays, not so much trending, but a lot of evergreen. So that could be a part of it as well. So even if they're getting low views now, some of these videos could be at, 50,000, 100,000 views in a few months, just based on a tutorial type of nature of it, like how to do this or what not to do, or how to use straighteners and things like that. But some of those topics are just not hitting well. And if anything, I would, if I was Paul Watts, assuming that's their name, if I was Paul, what I'd be doing right now is looking at my analytics, looking at what's working, doubling down on that, looking at what's not working, stop making those videos. And then I would definitely reassess my thumbnail strategy to make sure that I'm trying to stay on top of what's actually working to get clicks. Because the same kind of thumbnail may not work, from a year ago, may not work now. And I'm not sure if they're staying on top of that stuff, but that's something that I would definitely be taking a look at.
I agree with all of those points from both of you. I noticed something a minute ago, Jeff, when I typed in straight wolf cut. I'm noticing they're doing a lot of content about wolf cuts, and it's not doing half bad. So I just wanted to, show them as you were talking about thumbnails. Oh yeah, here's some of the other thumbnails in your space. And when I typed this, I noticed something very interesting. The first result is a short. A number of the results are shorts. And what this is telling me is a couple of things. One, YouTube, as they said they would, is surfacing more shorts in search. We know that they've been playing with the filters for shorts and search. If you go on your phone, you can actually tell it, hey, when I'm typing in this search, like I only want to see shorts as results. So shorts are becoming a more established content form on YouTube. That's the first thing. This is evidence of that. The second thing, though, is when you notice one of their top videos right now is crazy TikTok hair trends, DIY wolf cuts. So we're talking about TikTok hair trends. TikTok is a vertical video platform, and you're going to find vertical videos on TikTok. So if you're looking at a TikTok trend and you're doing a video about TikTok trends, I almost wonder if it's not better to do a short about these trends rather than a long form widescreen video. There's obviously an audience for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't have made this 8-minute video. I'm saying that you could supplement this as well with shorts of a similar style. Now, they are doing shorts. And as we dig into these, again, we're seeing okay view counts. A lot of videos getting over 1,000 views, but nothing really breaking out here, as we've seen on other channels. So it's not that they're not utilizing shorts. It just makes me wonder, and maybe you guys can weigh in here if you agree or disagree, for certain types of trends that you cover, should you not also consider the type of video you're making about that trend now that we have shorts and live streams and videos living on this platform together in harmony?
Yeah, I agree. You definitely want to hit them at different types of content to see sort of what will work and try some experimentation with it. Obviously, they don't want to become just a one haircut type of channel. You know what I mean? That's the last thing we want to do, even though it's working. Obviously, you want to milk it when you can. But that's the only problem with trends, because if this trend goes out of style, then you got to jump back on another one. So that's what I would do. I would be looking at exploring different types of content around this type of thing, whether it's how to do this, whether it's tutorial step by step, whether it's easy, whatever that might be. But I would really start looking at not only this particular niche, but other niches to see if there's something that you can bring in from outside, an idea, like a video type idea that might work for this type of content.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a couple more really quick points before we move on. The couple thumbnails here, we did talk about thumbnails for a bit. Just to give you an example of what we mean, like this one and this one. So you're always using kind of the same picture when it's just going to be you talking about maybe a product, right? What I would like to see instead of this template for a thumbnail is if you're going to say hacked, how to use a hair straightener, hair melts off, you're basically saying in the thumbnail, don't melt your hair. So it's a very prominent warning that you didn't put in the title very well. You put hacked, which almost made it look like your YouTube channel got hacked because of there's the U in frame in the middle of it in the thumbnail. But that aside, I think this would have been a good opportunity to say in the title, don't melt your hair, how to use hair straighteners or something like that. The thumbnail is an image resembling what the title is saying. In this case, melting hair, even if it's a little bit over the top. Hair straightener on some hair and you go into Photoshop and make it look like it's melting off of it or something. Like that's going to catch people's eye rather than like what looks to be a stick next to your head. If people are scrolling by really fast, they don't really know what this is. That doesn't look like a hair straightener, and that's going to be an issue. So you're using the same template for some of your product thumbnails, and I think it's holding you back with videos that I think, in my opinion, should be doing very well. So be just considering that you're covering a product and it's one that a lot of people are probably interested in.
Yeah, Dan. And further to that point, on the two thumbnails that say hacked, right? At least for the most recent one, if you're just scrolling through YouTube and you see that thumbnail and that's what you're looking at, you're not going to think that's about a hair product. And then when it auto plays, he's green screening something that looks like the Matrix, which even reinforces the whole hack thing. So if they're looking for hair content and they see that video autoplay and it's you in front of a Matrix background, they're not going to want to watch that because that's not about hair. So you really got to be careful about how you present your content according to the subject matter. Sometimes some of y'all get too cute, but we tell you all the time, keep it simple, man. Keep it simple.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they got clever. They taken this hair hack thing and really owned it, and it definitely comes off weird. It does seem like you're going to talk about how your YouTube channel got hacked when you look at that in the autoplay. So yeah, we do hope that advice was helpful. I just one last thing I wanted to do was look, and it looks like a year ago, 10 months ago, you were getting millions of views. I kind of wonder if it was in part due to COVID. A lot of people, including myself, were looking for like hair tips because we couldn't go get our haircuts anymore. I think a lot of hairstyle channels have kind of maybe blown up from this. So it could be just that. It could just be that. Or it could be that the wolf cut was really popular a year ago and now it's not. And you gotta stay on top of hair trends. So there's a lot here for you to research. And I do hope we've given you at least some places to start. So that's how these channel audits go. Every single week we do this, and we're going to do a whole bunch of pre-selected channels, and then we're going to take a look at your channels that you're submitting right now in the forums in the description below using random draw. So do stay tuned for that. The first gaming channel to submit this week was Icy Tiger 535. They have 114 subscribers. They are a Minecraft, Fall Guys, perhaps some other types of games channel. Normally when we get to this point, it's Rob asking me what do I think of the channel. So I guess I'll just start. And the first thing I noticed is when they filled out their form, they actually said the theme behind their channel was going to be Minecraft and Fall Guys and all and basically what it says in their banner. Subscribe for Fall Guys, Roblox, and Minecraft. So what we like to tell gaming channels is you should start with one game, one of these things. What we're really saying, the more nuanced thing that we don't say is you should really look at one audience, okay? But to do that, the training wheels of that strategy is one game, because usually a game appeals to an audience, unless in the case of Minecraft, which appeals to many audiences because there's a lot of things you can do with it. Roblox, many audiences because there's a lot of things you can do with it. So we would encourage you to niche down. You can be, so for example, there's a trend in Minecraft and Roblox, it so happens, called Bed Wars. It's a type of game mode that people play. You can then be a Bed Wars creator and you could theoretically play either of those games. So again, there is nuance to this. I don't want you to take what I'm saying and go, oh, I can only play one game, says the guy on vidIQ. if you feel confident and you know your audience, then you can start to branch out a little bit. But if you're still getting used to YouTube, getting used to creating content, we recommend, why don't you start with one game? And it should be your favorite game. It should be the one you know the most about, the one you're most comfortable in, and the one you feel like you can make video after video after video, and you just cannot run out of ideas for it because you love it so much. And it looks like for you, that's Fall Guys. So the next thing I would say is just going down this road for a second, pretending that Fall Guys is what you're going to make your entire channel about for a bit. What are some of the most successful Fall Guys videos doing today? Fall Guys. And you're just going to look. Fall Guys is a very popular game. It's free to play now. It kind of had an ebb and a flow there. Now it's getting really popular again because it went free to play. And it's on the Switch. So 3 hours ago, a channel called Fall Guys TV posted, and they already have 2.6K views. They have 153,000 subscribers. The SpongeBob thing that's just happened 3 hours ago, another Fall Guys Daily Moments channel. A lot of channels, and you covered it too, not taking that away from you. A lot of channels covering the SpongeBob update to Fall Guys. So that's the first thing. The next thing is, okay, I'm going to cover the SpongeBob update. What should you do? You need to look at thumbnails. What you did is you covered the SpongeBob update and you showed the trailer, right? This was 21 hours ago, so you're within the window of trend, as I'll call it. But the thumbnail you chose looks more like SpongeBob than Fall Guys, and it wasn't really designed by you. This looks like you just pulled it straight from the trailer, which is fine, but I think you could have done a better thumbnail when you consider your competition. So you would want to do this research. Look at these thumbnails. Are your thumbnails going to look exactly like this with very little practice? No, you're going to need to practice. But I think you could get close. I think with a couple of Photoshop tutorials or Canva or whatever it is you want to use, you could get closer to this standard where you're very bright, very colorful. These images are nice and sharp. And the characters, the game, it looks more like a game now. Whereas the thumbnail you chose makes it look like the TV show. You have to look carefully to notice, oh, this is actually Fall Guys. So always do this research is basically what I'm getting at. I've given a lot of tips there. Jeff or Viper, did you want to jump in on this one? Is there anything you're seeing?
No, the only other thing I would say would be like, and don't think that because we're telling you to niche into one game that means you can't play the other games. Just don't record yourself playing the other games. You can still have fun. Right. You can still play the other games. Just the ones that go onto your channel should be focused on one viewer. You can still, dude, I play at least 4 or 5 different video games simultaneously.
Yep.
Simultaneously. And if I was going to be a game streamer, I wouldn't be streaming all 5 of them. I'd be streaming one of them. Whichever one I feel is going to do the best for my content, my channel, and that I can build a community around. So definitely continue playing all the games you want to play, but what you put on the channel should be focused.
I'm playing a lot of games right now. I'm playing the new Pokemon game. I'm playing Age of Empires. I'm playing No Man's Sky. I'm playing RuneScape. I'm playing like just games I love. And if I were to put any of them on a channel, it wouldn't be all of them. That's for sure. It would be the one I'm most passionate about and the one I want to make my job, quote unquote. This will become that. If you're a gaming channel and you're thinking, hey, this is exciting, I get to play games for a living, it's not quite like that. It's a job. It's going to feel like a job. And I don't care if it's video games or finance. It's once you get deep into YouTube, it's going to feel like a job. I think it's the best job, but it's going to still be work at the end of the day. So you need to be really comfortable in that sense too. This needs to be a game or a genre of game that you are like so into that you would make it your career to cover this thing front to back.
All right, Dan, I need a minute or two here.
You want me to get rid of the screen?
Oh no, actually no, put it back up. I want you to put that back up. So you guys know on Twitter every Thursday I audit your thumbnails. I do a 1-hour thumbnail audit on Twitter. And a lot of you guys do the same thing. And I tell you all the time, and we've told you multiple times on the live stream that you don't need the episode number or the part number in your thumbnails. And sometimes you guys tell me, well, I see the bigger creators do it, blah, 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 blah. But here is the thing. What bigger creators are doing isn't necessarily things that you should be doing or can get away with. When you've established your brand and got to the point where you are a bigger creator, you can do things a little differently because you already have that established. You already have your brand established. You already have that audience grown. But when you're trying to get to that point, some of the things that your bigger favorite creators are doing aren't necessarily best practices for you. But the thing about the part numbers in the thumbnail is that when I'm a viewer, right, and I'm scrolling through YouTube trying to find a video that I want to watch, I am probably not going to click on a thumbnail that has a part number in it because then I feel like I have to watch other content. The whole entire point is to make your video feel like they can stand alone. They can stand independent by themselves. And if a viewer likes it enough, then yes, they'll go maybe watch part 2 or part 3 or part 4. But you don't want to make the viewer feel boxed in and necessarily forced to watch the rest of the video because there's a part 1 or part 2 on the thumbnail. This is why I tell you guys, leave the part number out. If you really want the people to watch it in order, put them in a playlist. YouTube has something called serial playlist or something like that. And what a serial playlist is that once a viewer finishes watching one part of the video, YouTube will automatically suggest the next video in that series to the viewer. So YouTube is taking care of that for you already. You as the creator, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put that in your thumbnail or your title. Just let YouTube do the work. But again, the whole point is we want these videos to stand independently on their own. We don't want to make our viewers feel like they have to watch part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So that's the whole reasoning behind why I tell you guys all the time, don't include part numbers on your thumbnail.
Yes. I mean, speaking of that, and titles too, Minecraft series episode 1. We haven't really talked about this user's titles. They're very, very simplistic, very functional titles, we would call these, but whereby you're saying exactly what it is and nothing more and nothing less. Minecraft series. You're saying you're gonna do a series, and this is the first episode. It just so happens with Minecraft, I've noticed this in episode 1 of any Minecraft Let's Play seems to do relatively well for a channel. And so you capitalized on 268 views, which is much higher than some recent view counts here on some Fall Guys stuff. You didn't follow it up. If and when you do follow it up, I'm challenging you to make episode 2 without saying it's episode 2. And I'm challenging you to give that episode a very specific purpose. You know, you smell it coming. To those of you who are regulars, you know what I'm about to do. If you're making Minecraft, now I just told you to make Fall Guys videos, but this is for Minecrafters. There's plenty of you here. Farzy has a long-standing Minecraft series. It's a Let's Play where he's in hardcore mode and he's building things in a Let's Play world. You wouldn't notice that looking at the titles and the thumbnails because each episode has a specific purpose. And this goes for any game too. If you're going to do Fall Guys, your Fall Guys episodes should have a specific goal in mind. Fall Guys is a competitive game. You're trying to get a trophy. You could say you're trying to get a trophy, but what you're trying to get a trophy under what set of circumstances? Are you trying to get it within a certain time frame? Are you trying to get it, but you have to use your keyboard upside down? What kind of stakes are you putting in the video? What are you making that has not been done before? That's what people want to see. That's what's going to help you stand out in this very crowded space we call gaming, is doing something extra, doing something a little bit more than just Minecraft series episode 1. So that's like all the gaming advice in one audit.
Well said. That's it for gaming channels.
That's it. At least for a few minutes. We will be doing randomly selected gaming channels, but we have a bunch of channels that are non-gaming now. And the next one is Small Town Tourist. I think, Viper, did you choose this one?
I did. I did. Yes.
Tell us all about Small Town Tourist. They're about to hit 400 subscribers, so congrats to them.
Yeah. So it looks like they are touring around the country in different small towns, and it's a pretty cool concept they got. They got almost looks like almost 400 subscribers, so they're doing well. I kind of feel like the text in your thumbnails could be a little smaller, because if the whole crux of your content is showing off these towns that you're visiting, I want to see more of that in the thumbnail. I want to see if I wanted to go to that town, or if I was thinking about going to the towns that you're visiting, I want to see how they look. But I can't see how they look if your text is covering almost the entirety of the thumbnail. So consider making your text smaller so you can show off more of the town that you're exploring. So when people are scrolling through the thumbnails, they can get that visual feedback of where you're going. Also, some of the text, you got to be careful about the contrast, because some of the text cannot be seen against the backgrounds of the town. So you really got to step back and look at it and see if you can clearly understand the text, or if a viewer can clearly understand that text on a quick scroll. Because again, I tell you guys all the time, 2 seconds or less. If it takes more than 2 seconds for somebody to understand your thumbnail, they're going to pass you by. And I'm going to defer to Dan or Jack. Computer keeps saying that my camera's lagging, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Hey, we can hear you clearly, bro. So they don't need to see you to be able to hear you and take notes on what you're saying.
That is true.
Yep.
They're just mad because all their pencils broke. They were taking notes so fast. Slow down.
Unless their pencils are lagging when they're taking notes. That's the only thing I'd be concerned with right about now, if anything. But no, I agree. That's one of the things where we have to be a little bit careful. The text on the thumbnails, some of it can work well. Some of it gets a little weird, like the searching for the gravesite of Royce Oatman. This one, because we have this red shadow. So it's like black text, red shadow, and then a yellow backdrop. It's a bit much. So I would think about simplifying that a little bit if we can. The Open Arizona, that one works a little bit better because it's a little bit clearer in that sense. But I would probably be a little bit careful with having it overpower the entire image. Especially if we feel, well, depends. I'd also, now, just to be clear, I'm not super familiar with this particular niche, but I would be looking at what kind of thumbnails are working in this space. Is it stuff with big text as the draw, or is it just a plain picture of, you know, a landmark in that space? So that's something that I'll be paying attention to. But I really would hope that at some point we do make a decision on what kind of text we want to use, because it's different. Like there's a small town tourist, and that's like red text with white shadow, and then Secret Tunnels is yellow with like a black shadow. And then we have, so it's like it keeps going all over the place. The font's also different in the latest video. The latest one looks fine to me too. I don't have any issues with that Box Canyon one at all. But I would hope that at some point we decide on which one we want to roll with and we commit to it.
Yes, to all of those points. Thumbnails, we talked about quite a bit. I've been like thinking to myself, you know, I'm looking at the view counts, and they're not unimpressive for a channel of this size. I'm pretty excited to see some videos get over, you know, many thousands of views. This one has 16,000 views. And what I would be doing is paying better attention to those videos that get over 1,000 views and trying to figure out, okay, what was it about this video? So that's what I've been trying to figure out in the background. And I think I have something for you to try. This is not like advice that's going to guarantee your channel will blow up or anything like that. Just something that if I were you, I would think about. So Secret Tunnels under Williams, Arizona. Everything about that video makes sense to me. I can, even though I've never been to Williams, Arizona, I know it's a place because it's, you know, it's a very short town name, Williams, Arizona. So Secret Tunnels sounds really cool. And it's a place in a state I've heard of. I want to know more. However, when you go just a little bit more, searching for the gravesite of Royce Oatman and the Oatman family. So we already talked about the text covering up a lot of like really interesting points in this thumbnail. I, as a layman, don't know who Royce Oatman is. I don't know why their gravesite is of interest. I don't know why it's important. You do, and you made a 26-minute video about it, and I bet it's fantastic. So I want you to think about people like me and people like the 16,000 folks who watched Secret Tunnels under Williams, Arizona. You made something for them here that is easy to grasp, very easy to understand. It's that light bulb moment of like, oh my gosh, this person's going on a trip. I see a highway, and they're going to go into some secret tunnels, and it sparks a lot of curiosity. But a lot of the other stuff you're doing feels too niche. It feels like I need to know, like I have to have a background as to who the Oatman family is if I want to enjoy these two videos in the middle here. And that's okay. You're getting some views, and I think you're getting views from some of your returning viewers and some from search. You can look at your analytics to confirm that. But I think there are people who probably know who this family is, and they're interested in your, you know, what you've done in your video, like the visit that you paid over there. But other than that, like, I think there's a huge opportunity to capture people who, capture the interest of people, I should say, who are just interested in, you know, old Western history or, you know, native history and like things like that, like different types of American history. And I think you could be making videos that are these videos, the same videos, but with those people in mind, those types of viewers who are just interested in learning all kinds of things. So instead of saying searching for the gravesite of Royce Oatman, what was special about this family? Like what were they known for? And like, can you make a title that appeals to a larger audience and, you know, get them to watch? And again, work on your thumbnails as well, work on that presentation. And then the hook of the video should also back up that title. So it would require you to approach the videos a bit differently. So at the beginning of the video, if you don't do it already, you're going to talk about the Oatman family. You're going to talk about why this gravesite has been preserved, why you're going to go visit, what you're hoping to see. And you're really going to talk to them as if they have no context for this at all. So those would be the steps that I would consider taking. But I want you to look at your analytics, take some of the things I said, compare and contrast to make sure that they all track. Don't just take my advice at face value. But that would be, you know, where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense, man.
Cool. All right, cool. Then I'm on a roll. The next channel we're going to take a look at, I believe you picked this one, Jeff, is Let's Cook. No, I picked this one, actually. I picked this one because I was very interested in it.
Nice. All right, so let's see.
I'll let you talk about it anyway, but it's called Let's Cook
Sure.
Mini.
So finding happiness in many things. Okay, so banner's a little bit cramped, I would say, because there's a lot going on. Let me see. Let's do a word count on this on this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 words is too many words
Some are cut
in
off.
a banner. It's too many words. Give me all of that in less than 5 words. Give me all of that in less. You don't even have to have your name in your banner. Just want to make this clear, because if you look right now, we see their name, Let's Cook Mini, where the channel name is. Then we see at Let's Cook Mini under it, and then you have Let's Cook Mini. It's too much. It's too much. Just let me know as a viewer what I'm going to get from you. Are you going to teach me how to make breakfast? Are you going to teach me how to make lunch? Or are you going to teach me how to barbecue? Are you going to teach me how to bake? Let me know what it is that I'm going to get out of this channel in less than 5 words.
Yes, like Let's Cook Mini. I cook small food. Something very straightforward. People are going to know exactly what it is. And now, will people see that banner? Some will. They're going to investigate your channel, and they're going to maybe hit this subscribe button. We actually, Rob did this recently. He looked and saw some data that suggested this is the subscribe button people click the most. So this banner does matter more than you would think. But is it of that much consequence? I would say, I believe in a good, clear value proposition, but I also look at it as like a mental exercise. If you can describe your channel in your banner in one sentence, that means you can give people the elevator pitch in your videos in real life. What do you do on YouTube? Oh, I cook small food. Rather than saying, well, I like to say we find happiness in many things, and my videos revolve around cooking, ASMR, and stories. I make new videos every single week. It's like so many things that your banner is trying to say. So even if you don't, I'm saying all this to say, if you don't believe in having a banner that, has all like a simple message in it, that's fine, but you should do it for you at the end of the day. Because I agree with you, Jeff, but I don't look at these banners too much.
No, I completely agree. It's same with me. It's when I land on a channel page and I'm kind of confused about what's going on. At least for me, if I have a channel that comes up in my browse feed, I look at a video and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good, or I enjoyed the video. That's when I'll get curious and I'll look at their channel and I'll just kind of see, like, what are the videos? What do they talk about? Is this channel? If I enjoyed this video that was fed to me, do they make more content like this? And this is when I run into their banner, and 99% of the time the banner tells me nothing. It tells me nothing. It's very rarely where I'll see a banner where it's like somebody actually put some thought into it. I'm like, oh wow, this actually does tell me what this channel is about without me having to go to the about section, which half the time people don't fill out anyway. So, but it does help in that sense for sure. But it looks like we are doing miniature cooking from the looks of it, which is pretty interesting.
I thought this was such a cool concept. There are some other channels like this that they can draw some inspiration from. I was thinking when I was looking at this channel, oh, this is definitely a case of thumbnails. I think if they can master their thumbnails, they're going to be in really good shape.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And that's one of the things where, and it's hard, depends on what you're using to take some of these pictures, because being that they're miniatures is going to be kind of hard to tell unless you have something there for scale. So if we could get something to scale that, even if it was like a Lego minifigure, it could be a quarter, whatever it is, but where you can get more close up on the shot. Because think about this, like this miniature waffle, right? You have your hands for scale somewhat, but it makes it extremely difficult to tell what it is that you're holding because it's so small. So just same thing that we would tell any other food channel, where we would want you to zoom in on the plate to kind of, make it make sense to me as a viewer at a glance. Now, if it's going to be miniature cool, that's going to be awesome, but your title should tell me that, right? So that's the thing where the title's going to tell me how to make a miniature waffle, whatever it might be. We'll talk about titles in a sec. But that's one of the things where that one in particular, I would definitely crop that in, because look how tiny that text is as well.
Yes. It's so close. Like, these thumbnails are so close to me, especially the mini waffle maker one. I'm picking on that one in particular because you get a really good sense of their miniature kitchen. Mm-hmm. It must take a really long time to fabricate this thing. Look at this.
That's super cool.
So much detail in this, and getting that thumbnail right to make sure that people understand the scale. Because if we were to just look at this really quick, we would think this is a full-size kitchen.
Right.
And a regular-sized person was going to walk into frame in a second and start cooking. But pretty soon, if we keep watching, it's going to be hands appearing, the giant hands that are going to like overtake this little kitchen. So, and I would definitely not do this, by the way.
No.
Branded intros. I'm going to talk about this for a minute. We're going to go deep in on this tomorrow during the Wednesday video review stream, so get ready for that. But we see this all the time, and these branded intros are really distracting. So try not to do that. But this is where we get the first sense of scale. It's great for your videos. It translates well. For the thumbnails, though, we've got to figure out a way to get this scale to translate better in the thumbnails. I think the Waffle Maker one, the reason I'm drawn to it is because it's one of your better thumbnails in the sense that it's not as cluttered. But when you look at this thumbnail and this thumbnail and this thumbnail, all the ones all next to the Waffle Maker one, you've put so many tiny things in the thumbnail that it's making it look really busy, and it's hard to even see your hand by the time the viewer is scrolling through YouTube and trying to make sense of like what they just saw. They didn't even get to notice your hand before they kept scrolling because it just looks like a room with stuff in it. It doesn't look like a cooking channel. So whenever you use this set that you have of like a house and a little fence and all these little tiny items, it's really not looking like anything. It looks like a lot of things, but it doesn't look like anything in particular. So I would focus more on thumbnails like this one, where it's not as much stuff on the screen. It's a hand coming into the frame, and I would keep playing with these. I definitely think if you can figure this out, if you can get these thumbnails to work, you are going to be in really, really great shape. And you even have some videos here that are successful that you can take a look at. 28,000 views here on Never Before Seen Unboxing. I would say even though this thumbnail looks cluttered, all the items look kind of similar to each other. They all look like they belong to a set, so they all feel like they belong there. So it's just little things like that I'm noticing. It's a very interesting channel.
Yeah, no, for sure. That'd be the thing that I would for sure, when they have time, really start rethinking some of these, because even with their hand in there, it kind of gives you scale. Like this miniature crunchy paneer fingers. Even like a lot of these, all we would have to do is crop. Like literally, it could be the exact same picture. We crop in, it's gonna give you that scale. First, you're able to see what we're looking at here, because look how tiny our thumbnails are already this big.
Yep.
And now the actual subject is this big, and it's like, come on, man. So even just cropping in is going to make it better. But the other thing, and that I was going to mention, was the triple titles, and some of these are actually quadruple titles. Like this latest video, the miniature potato boat / miniature cooking / it's like we just keep putting more and more and more. And it's like, come on, man.
This one, sorry.
It's all right. So yeah, we have
miniature cooking, tasty potato snack recipe, motivational story.
That's 4 titles. Don't do that. Don't do that. This goes for everybody who's in the chat. Don't do that. Don't, even if you see other people doing it, don't do it. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. Make a title that makes sense to human beings. How to make a miniature potato boat. That's all we need. Miniature cooking is already implied because you have miniature already. We don't need tasty potato snack. If you need all of these other things of miniature cooking, tasty potato snack recipe, and motivational story, if you need all of that, put it in the video description, put it in your tags, but don't put it in the title. All it does is lead to more confusion. I should be able to know exactly what your video is about instantaneously. I shouldn't have to read 4 different titles to get it. So just don't do that.
Actually, Jeff, I love that you said it leads to more confusion, because it leads to confusion not only for the viewer, but it leads to more confusion for the YouTube algorithm to figure out where to put your video at. So when you put 3 or 4 titles in your 3 or 4 phrases in your title, you're confusing the algorithm. You're confusing the robot, because now the robot has to figure out, where do I put this video? And if you're making it hard for the robot, yeah, you're playing at a disadvantage. So yeah, like Jeff said, don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do that.
So we have a lot of things going on right now. We're going to get back to channel audits in just a second, but a couple things. We talked about titles, and so I wanted to show everybody this tool, which I think will help you, because another thing we talked about is just figuring out what to make videos about. Sometimes you're like, well, okay, I have a cooking video I want to do. What's the next thing I should make it about? What if I need some ideas? So I want to show you one of my favorite tools we have at vidIQ. We're having a Black Friday sale, so you can definitely take advantage of this. So keywords, all you have to do is type in a keyword for the thing that you are making videos about. So I want to try tiny food. I don't know what's going to come up. I'm going to try tiny food. And when you do that, it's going to populate a questions section here. All of these questions are things people are actually typing into YouTube search and things that could translate to being video titles. I don't love tiny food as it's so niche. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a great example, but I wanted to just put it in there because
try tiny waffle.
Tiny waffle. All right. We couldn't find any questions for tiny waffles.
Oh.
What about homemade waffles? So, how to make perfect and easy homemade matcha waffles recipe.
Wow, nice.
How to make the best homemade waffles, easy waffle recipe. How to make the best homemade waffles. How to make homemade creams waffles. So you're going to get a bunch of questions. We're going to get a score on these questions so you know how much search volume, how much competition is going into these. Play with this tool. If you have vidIQ, depending on what subscription level you have, you may have some limited access to this tool. So the link is down below if you want to check it out. And don't forget to also check out our Black Friday sale going on now. So I think I posted something in the community posts if you're looking for a specific link to that. And I'll get that updated in chat here in a second too. There is that. And then before we get to our next channel, why don't we take a couple of these questions? We've been getting super chats. Jeff, thank you in the background for grabbing these.
Sure.
And thank you all for your super chats. We got one here for, I don't know what denomination of currency that is, but I appreciate it. Let's see. Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee says, thanks for helping us, being awesome. You're very, very welcome. We have one here from Dark Mobian. It kind of reminds me of how I had to build an audience on Roblox Pokemon fan games. Then I'm slowly pivoting my channel to another game while still focused on the older games when they update. So we were talking a little bit earlier today about, playing games like Pokemon and then branching out. And that's what this creator is talking about here, which I appreciate you sharing that, because we're always trying to tell people you can eventually branch out, but you need to kind of understand your audience. You need to understand YouTube. You need to understand what you're doing. So it is very, very important and cool that you shared that with us. If anyone has anything to add, feel free. I'm just grabbing in the background our Black Friday sale link.
No, not really, man. I think one of the things that you had mentioned, earlier in showing the vidIQ tools about doing that keyword research and stuff is that this all leads back to actually doing research before you turn on your camera and having things in place so that your content actually makes sense to a viewer. Because that's the last thing we want is for people to stop hustling backwards. Stop just recording a video and then trying to wrap a title and thumbnail and all that stuff around it. Do some research beforehand. Figure out if people even care about this, and are people even clicking on videos about this, and what kind of thumbnails are they making, and what should be a good title. Having all that stuff together before you even turn on your camera leads to such a different experience, both in actually recording the video, because now it's going to make sense, but secondarily, usually you get better performance out of your videos by actually doing some research beforehand. You'd be surprised at how well that works.
There you go. Sorry, I've just been doing my research in the background. Stay on the lookout for our Black Friday sale. I should have prepared that better. That's all I'll say. And then Icy Tiger was saying thanks for the feedback. We did check out their channel a little bit ago, so thank you so much for the super chats. And we appreciate it. If you give us a super chat, we will try to answer perhaps a question you have. But super chats will not lead to audits or anything like that. So we just appreciate your support. All right, so back to channel audits. We have some randomly selected channels here, or not randomly selected, pre-selected channels here. This one's called Out Top. Now, did one of you post this channel?
I did.
Okay, because I was curious. I'm like, oh, usually we have a lot of videos. This channel has one video, so tell us about Out Top.
All right, so if you hit the home button, you'll see that they have a bunch of YouTube shorts on
Amazing game idea.
Okay.
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Gotcha. It's a shorts channel.
All right, so basically about the channel, I'm looking at your YouTube short because that's what the majority of your content is, and I can immediately understand and see that you are not doing YouTube shorts justice. And what I mean by that is you are not using the full real estate. Your content is not in the proper aspect ratio for a YouTube short. I believe the aspect ratio is 9:16, but you're not using the entire screen real estate. If Dan, you want to click on one of those, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. Yeah, what is that? What is that, y'all? Y'all can't do that. We can't do that, people. We cannot do that. YouTube shorts are already small by default. But then when you zoom down on the content and it looks like that, that is what Dan will call a poor viewing experience. And people are not going to watch that. They're going to skip that. So you got to find a way to utilize the entire aspect ratio of the YouTube short. We cannot have content like this. And that's what the majority of the shorts on this channel look like. They look just like this. So first thing you need to do, whoever you are, creator, is work on fulfilling the entire aspect ratio of your YouTube short, because that is not going to get it done.
I think this video could have been cropped so that it took up the entire frame, because MKBHD and Mr. Beast are nicely in the center right here. So you could have zoomed in so that they filled up this entire 9:16 frame, and it would have been a much better viewing experience rather than these big black bars here. This is the kind of thing that gets people to swipe and keep swiping. Now, we say that, but let's keep in mind this creator is getting, in some cases, some pretty good views despite this. 20,000 views on a video in the same aspect ratio where they're not taking advantage of most of the real estate. My argument to this is whenever someone sees this and tries to say, well, Dan, look, they're already getting views, so you must be wrong. If you can get 20,000 views in this aspect ratio, how many more views could you have gotten if it was cropped in properly? That's always my question. If 20,000 people were willing to watch this, I feel like this video could do a lot better if cropped appropriately.
Yep.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. Here's the thing. We always have to remember this. Make the viewer experience better, right? So whatever decisions you're making around your content, it has to run past this filter. Does this make the viewer's experience better? Does it? And that's the key thing. Because I see a lot of people will do all kinds of stuff on YouTube, but they're not putting that behind it. Like, cool, I'm going to, upgrade this lighting, or I'm going to upgrade the sound. I'm going to do all this other stuff, right? Does it actually make the viewer's experience better? If it's a yes, then cool. If not, then don't do it. There's no point, right? So especially when it comes to editing, especially when it comes to shorts, try to take up the whole screen if possible. Even if you have to double stack it, whatever you got to do, but try to improve that. You got to think about that's the viewer's experience. Put them first. Always put the viewers first.
Absolutely. So I think that's probably, when it comes to a shorts channel, unless we're going to do straight up video reviews, that's probably where the advice stops. Maybe until tomorrow. We're going to see some shorts channels tomorrow. We always do on Wednesdays, and we're actually going to go into videos tomorrow. We're not going to cover the titles and thumbnails as much as we're going to cover what's actually going on in the content. So do be sure to drop in tomorrow, and you can get your channel potentially on the stream once again. And yeah, let's check out Everyday Cooking Dad. They have 213 subscribers. I believe, Jeff, this is one of yours?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Everyday Cooking Dad.
Well, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So especially if you go back to 2 weeks ago, they had a breakout video. Timing is key. Timing is one of the most important things, and that's the indoor deep fried turkey. Juicy and delicious. 2.9 thousand views on a channel with, I think, a little bit over 200 subscribers, which is excellent. So this is one of those things that when we have this, right, and this is, especially for other food channels, but this actually applies to pretty much anyone. This is why when I have an idea like this, right, especially, if it's Thanksgiving related, anything like that, make sure you have follow-up ideas to this. Right? Whether it's a different recipe, whether it's things that are adjacent to this, right? Your stuffing, your mashed potatoes, your yams, whatever dishes you're going to do around Thanksgiving, have those ideas and videos ready to rock and roll along with this, so that when there's a huge uptick, there's going to be a big uptick in Thanksgiving views starting, I believe should have started right around Saturday, but come Thursday, it's going to be through the roof. So you want to have those videos already on the channel, ready to rock and roll. Whenever we have a breakout video like this, either one of two things, either think of other things you can deep fry, because it could be the deep fry that's bringing people in, or secondarily, what are some other ideas around turkey that you can do? Because timing wise, they're going to pick up right now. Right now it's turkey season. Yep. So that's right now it's season for you to get those views, because cooking channels have a lot of seasonality. So definitely take advantage of that if you can. Look at the mac and cheese video above this. That one's doing pretty good. Collard greens do pretty good. The drunken fish, not so much. New England clam chowder, not really the time. So, so just keep that in mind. Keep in mind the seasonality of around food channels and what people are eating right now.
And that timing is really important, because the reason 2 weeks ago was so crucial is because people started shopping for their ingredients a couple of weeks ago and this week. It's all common sense, really. Like when it comes to trying to figure this stuff out, people look for like a very specific formula that we can give them. It's just common sense. It's, you know, when do you shop for stuff for Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I always, and this applies to everybody. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a tech channel, beauty and makeup, gaming, whatever it is. This is why I always tell people, when you have an idea for video, always come up with 2 additional titles, 2 additional ideas close to that video, right? Always have 2 additional ones. So if you have something pop off, you don't have to start guessing like, oh my God, what can I do now to capitalize on this? You already got your titles ready. You already got your ideas ready. You can just hit it, get straight into it, and knock that next video out as quickly as possible. So definitely take advantage of that whenever we have a breakout video.
Hey, Dan, I got an experiment for you to do real quick. All right, let's zoom in on the indoor deep fried turkey video and title and thumbnail.
I can't really zoom in beyond this.
All right, so I want you all to look at the title of that indoor deep fried turkey video, right? You see that title, right? Now look at the other titles. What are we what differences are we seeing here, you all? Anybody in the chat want to let me know what's going on here? That video has almost 3,000 views. The rest of the videos don't even have 1,000, or at least that one does, but most of them don't have 1,000. There is a difference in title. I want you all to observe what's going on here.
He gave us a reason to click.
Oh, Jeff. Say it again for the people in the back, Jeff. Say it again for the people in the back.
He gave us a reason to click because it could be any indoor deep fried turkey recipe, but this one is juicy and delicious.
Are y'all listening to this man right now? The rest of these video titles are just generic. You got beef bone broth, okay. Red rice southern style, okay. Collard greens, okay. But what's so special about those particular videos? Why should I, as a viewer, click? At least with the deep fried turkey video, you told me it was juicy and delicious. The rest of these titles are just generic titles that don't really do much for a viewer. So again, when you're titling your videos, you got to have that element of emotion or curiosity or desire. We talked about this on the live stream before, you all. You got to put a little extra sauce on your titles if you want people to click on it. You have to think about when you're titling a video, you have to think, why would I click on it? Why would someone else click on it? What is special about this thumbnail or this title that will get a potential viewer to click on it? So when you think about it that way, think about how you can word it to where you will get somebody to be curious or have a desire to click on it, or maybe it has some type of emotional connect. You got to think about these things when you were titling your videos and thumbnails too, but especially in the title.
The collard greens one is interesting because it's just as collard greens, but I would say in the thumbnail that probably drew some interest because it says in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would have put that in the title. That should have absolutely been in the title.
The other thing we have to make sure also on that indoor deep fried turkey, although it did well, and this doesn't matter too much, it just bugs me, is that it's Thanksgiving in the corner, not Thanksgiving. So that's just one thing. Just make sure we double check our spelling whenever we're going to do that. Honestly, I think they could have left that out of it, especially when it's text that's that tiny in the corner. It's pretty much implied when we're talking about turkey. Probably don't have to have Thanksgiving in the thumbnail. Probably not even in the title, technically speaking, but you can have it in the video description and in the tags if you want. But yeah, probably just not necessary there. But always do that spell check. Make sure you're looking at your words and what you're putting in, just to make sure things are all spelled correctly. That's all.
As far as food channels go, I think the thumbnails are good. I think they could be better. The food is definitely the star, but the pictures themselves, a bit washed out. You know, they're kind of missing that just extra bit of quality to them that your competitors are doing. And then sometimes you opt to do just a stark black background, and I don't know, on dark mode especially, it just kind of blends into me. It kind of falls into the void a little bit. So I would continue. I like this. I like a nice white plate with food on it. I think that the contrast is always really nice. Obviously, a whole turkey isn't going to fit on a plate, but maybe you could have used a cutting board that wasn't brown because the turkey's brown. You know, like a white cutting board or something. So there's always things you can do to try and make the thumbnails stand out a little bit more. And I think you'll notice those big differences too. It's not just trending topics, but it's also coming up with those really nice, sharp, clickable thumbnails.
Yep.
All right. I have another channel here that I think we accidentally skipped over. It is...
Oh, whoops.
Adri... Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a tech channel. I don't know how to say their name, and I apologize. But they're going to hit 1,000 subscribers soon, so it doesn't really matter that I can't say their name. They're doing pretty well for themselves. So they're getting Hundreds of views. Who picked this channel?
I did.
Why?
Because I wanted to see you struggle over actually saying their channel name. That's why,
Okay,
sir.
I thought so.
No, but it's so this is a channel out of the Ukraine from when I looked into their about section. So, you know, we have a lot of support for our Ukrainian creators. So I saw the channel. I was like intrigued. Tech channel out of the Ukraine. See the Ukrainian colors up there. They're doing shorts. They're doing long form videos. So I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, hey, this looks kind of cool. Let's see what they're talking about. I took a look at it at a glance. They were doing a lot of stuff around software, PCs, laptops, that sort of stuff. Thumbnails are surprisingly pretty good. Not the best I've ever seen, but not bad for a channel under 1,000. They look better than anything I was doing under 1,000 subs. I'll tell you that much. So overall, I think they're a strong contender. They're getting decent views on their videos as well. More evergreen content is what I'm seeing here more than anything else. And I would probably advise them that they would want to lean into that, you know, when possible. I know for them it can be a struggle. Internet can be kind of spotty right now over in Ukraine, so I totally understand consistency can be tough. Don't sweat overdoing that. Just when you do get a video out, make sure it's a banger. Make sure you get you're making that evergreen play when it comes to these types of channels. I know I have plenty of friends that do tutorials on Windows and on software, and even though their videos might look like they are duds out of the gate, when you come back to them 6 months and a year later and they've got, you know, 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 views, that's where the money comes in on these types of channels. So I would for sure lean into the tutorial and evergreen aspect of this type of a channel.
All right, I got a slight nitpick. Dan, can you scroll back up for me real quick? All right, scroll down a little bit. A little bit more. Right there, right there. Andre. I'm going to call you Andre because that's what I think is, how you pronounce it. Andre. I need you to do me a favor, my dude. All right, I need you to scroll up a little bit more. This video right here, how to make HDD or hard disk drive faster than SSD. I see what you're trying to do. You have your hand-drawn Sonic the Hedgehog. But next time I need you to use the real Sonic the Hedgehog, man. You just cut a picture out somewhere. Cut the real Sonic out and put him in your thumbnail because he's more recognizable. People will know who he is instead of me having to guess. And okay, I'm guessing that's not. That might not be Sonic, but I'm guessing that's Sonic. But that don't look like Sonic, my dude. I'm sorry, that does not look like Sonic. So what you need to do is include the real Sonic in your thumbnail, because that will also make the video appeal to a broader audience because they recognize that character. So don't try to put little hand drawings in there. Just use the authentic, genuine picture of Sonic the Hedgehog, and you'll get more views on that video.
Yeah, some of these, it doesn't even need him in the thumbnail, to be completely honest. Like, it could have been a side-by-side of a HDD and an SSD.
Yeah.
And this faster than this, you know, something like that. So sometimes you have to think when we're talking about products like that, you don't have to be in your thumbnail. So be okay with that. Like, I know we hear the advice, oh, you got to be in your thumbnails. No, you don't. No, you don't. So that's the thing. So I would, for sure, sometimes it feels like channels like this, even though they're doing a good job in a vacuum, at least, or maybe they feel like they're doing a good job, really start doing that thumbnail research, man. Like that's really something I really have to stress to creators is whenever you're thinking of making a thumbnail, search up your video topic on YouTube and see what's actually getting clicks because it can guide you in the right direction.
I like Dollar Store Sonic.
I see y'all in the chat talking about this is the meme Sonic or Sanic, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, it's Sanic? Is that who it is?
That might be cute, but the mainstream don't know who Sanic is. No, we know who Sonic is. Y'all doing this nerd stuff. You know, you need to appeal to the mass audience, not the in crowd, y'all. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool that it's if it's Sanic, that's cool. But here's the thing: when we're talking about how to make a piece of kit faster than another piece of kit, think about who the target audience is. Is it going to be people who are into memes? Possibly, but that's such a narrow margin of people. So you have to think about this outside of that, of making it clever or cute. You have to make it play for the majority of people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. It's that understanding of your audience, like your target demographic. Like, do you only want people who want to make their HDD faster, who also know who Sanic is? Or do you just want people who want to get your hard drive tips? You know, that's kind of at the end of the day what we're saying. I like it. I think it's funny. But hey, great channel. I mean, you're about to hit 1,000 subscribers. With the watch time you earned from some of these videos, I have to imagine monetization goals are not far off for you. So yeah, congratulations. A lot of content here. Some getting quite a few views and a lot of evergreen stuff too. So
Plus,
I think
and plus, we also want to, send our love and support to our friends in Ukraine as well. So.
Absolutely. So with that, we have a couple of super chats, and then we're going to get into the random selections here for your channels. Thank you for using the two forms. They're in the description below. If you haven't already, we have a non-gaming form and we have a gaming form. So be sure you fill out the correct one, and we're going to randomly pick channels here in just a sec. But there's just a few super chats we want to look at. One of them is from Browncoat. What are the best practices for creating recognizable brand thumbnails without wasting space?
Ooh.
What do we got?
That's a good one. What do you think, Dan?
Recognizable brand thumbnails. I'm kind of hung up on the word brand. But they're saying a recognizable brand. So if the brand has a logo that they're well known for, obviously that's something I would include in most cases. I would always go into this YouTube search bar here and do the research. Find people who've made a similar video to the one you're working on and see what they've done and see what's worked and what hasn't worked. Because sometimes using a logo, it doesn't work. Maybe the brand makes a visually like a product that's more recognizable than their logo. You know what I mean? So maybe you'd want to use the product rather than the logo itself. When it comes to not wasting space, I like to oversize things. The thumbnail on the screen right here is a good example. Deleted evidence. This wasn't an accident. So this is like Sam Bankman-Fried. Notice how all you see is like their chin and then part of their head is like cut off, like just the very top here. That's what I like doing with people in thumbnails. I like oversizing them because that's how you guarantee to take up a lot of that space, and like your eye just kind of goes to it a lot easier. A lot of people say a good rule of thumb is to see the whites in their eyes if you're going to use people. And then the text is big and readable. So those are just general tips for not wasting space.
So when I'm doing my thumbnail audits on Twitter, a lot of times people are doing, especially gamers, they're doing thumbnails about a particular game that they're playing. But I don't know what game it is, so I always tell them you need to include some type of game of the branding from the game in the thumbnail. So, like for example, if you're playing a game and there might be people that might not be able to identify the game just based off the characters or the scene that you're using in your thumbnail, it might be good to include some of the game branding in the thumbnail. Now, when you're doing that, you don't have to make it uber big, but make it big enough to where I can recognize it immediately. Like if you're doing something like Call of Duty or God of War Ragnarok, or the new Sonic Frontiers, whatever the case may be, just use some branding that is big enough to where I can see it at a glance, and then I can immediately identify the game that you're playing. And even if it's not a game, let's say you're doing a product review or something that pertains to a brand, just borrow some of that brand's logo, just borrow a logo or some branding from that product for that product and put it in the thumbnail and put it in there in such a way that it's easily recognizable, but it doesn't take up, it doesn't dominate the thumbnail per se. That's all I'm talking about.
I mean, they got a Minecraft avatar. I would say with like Minecraft channels, you don't necessarily need the Minecraft logo because it's such a recognizable thing. But I've seen people use it to good effect too, especially when it's hardcore. Minecraft hardcore is like its own niche within the Minecraft community. So sometimes people will do the Minecraft hardcore logo, and there is a logo for it. And that's just to give the audience that instant recognition of like, this isn't just Minecraft. This is Minecraft, but if I die, I lose everything. So there's like really high stakes just attached to that logo. So it really depends, as always. It depends. Like, go out there and like look again and see what people are doing.
So I see somebody in the chat that, but if you don't recognize the game, then are you their target audience? There might be an element of truth to that. However, how are you going to scale your brand and your channel if you don't hit people that aren't just your target audience? You should be thinking about going beyond your target audience if you want to grow your channel. Let me let you all in a little secret real quick. You are not going to grow your YouTube channel just targeting your target audience. You got to go beyond your target audience if you want to grow. And this is true for any business. If you want to scale your business, eventually you have to go outside of your initial target. That's how businesses grow. So but don't just be thinking about your target audience. Think about trying to get people outside of that as well and bringing them in. So, but y'all can do that information what you will.
Next up, we have Sir Storm PvP. What is a checklist before uploading videos?
Ooh. That's a good one. I mean, what do you think, Dan? I was thinking, at least the checklist that I use personally. You don't all have to do this, but the video topic, the timing, the thumbnail, and the title. That's bare minimum. but that's my bare minimum checklist. So the actual video topic, the timing. So do people care about this right now or not? The thumbnail and the title. I have to have those 4 things in place before I will turn on my camera.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely similar. These days especially, I need a good topic. So I like something I'm interested in covering. Obviously, that's where like the ideas come in. That's where I'm doing brainstorming, trying to think of something. Then I want to try and think of a title for it before I do anything else. Like it's kind of, I have this checklist, but I kind of do it in that order. At least I try to do my best. And if I can think of a good title and then a good thumbnail, like I don't have to make the thumbnail right now, but just to ideate, you know, like, oh, I have a really good idea of what the thumbnail could look like. If all that's in place, then I feel like I have a hit video. You know, even if I do or don't by the end of the day, once I actually upload the thing, I feel confident in that video if I can think of a good title and a good thumbnail beforehand. So yeah, like that's now you said uploading videos, but I don't know if that's necessarily relevant, you know, because you upload your video and then you fill out your YouTube metadata like everybody else. So I'm not really, I'm hoping you meant, you know, before recording videos, because I think there's a lot more good advice in there that people kind of miss out on.
Okay. Something that we kind of talked about in this live stream, but we don't really talk about too much. Before you hit publish, make sure you spell check everything. I cannot tell you how many times that people hit publish, myself included, and there's something misspelled either in the title or the thumbnail or something, and it just it makes you feel some type of way. So just check your spelling, make sure everything is spelled correctly before you hit that publish button. Even if you got to have a friend of yours look over it, because sometimes you could be looking dead at it and still miss it. I've done this a few times. It's very annoying. So even if you got to have somebody check over your stuff to make sure that it's good to go, just make sure you're checking your spelling before you hit publish, so you're good to go.
We got one here that I'm not exactly sure what they're asking. It's from Data is King. YouTube removed my shorts video because they said that I remixed it with another one of my long form videos, which is YouTube has an option. I'm not really sure here what you're asking, Data is King.
I would dispute it if you feel like it's one of your own content and it might have been done by mistake, because YouTube AI can flag videos by accident. So I would definitely dispute that. Like, if that's how you feel, I don't know. We're only looking at it from just what you're asking, but I would for sure dispute that and be like, hey, listen, this is, you know, explain the situation, and hopefully you'll get a human to look at it.
And one more question before we get into random selection from Synergy Effect. Are views important for a small subscriber channel? I got about 70 subs, but my videos get close to 100 plus views. What does this really mean?
Yeah.
I'd say it means that you're doing something right.
Exactly.
What you should be asking are subscribers important? And we would tell you, no, they're not. They're fun.
It sounds messed up because everybody in here is so obsessed. Everybody in the chat is so obsessed with what their current subs are and what subs they want to get to. And we get it. You should be obsessed with views, not subs.
Yeah. If you're getting more views than subs, you're doing something correct. That means you're getting so many views that your videos are reaching beyond that initial audience that you've captivated with your content. You know, YouTube is finding people for it. And based on the things those people watch, YouTube is finding more people with similar interests. And so the content is spreading faster than you can ask for subs. This is where you want to be on YouTube. This is great. This is like really good news. So keep doing what you're doing. Do not think about the sub count beyond just something that is fun to watch go up. We all like watching it go up. We all want a play button on our wall. I totally get it. And it does, I think the subscribe button means something in the sense that it's validation. It's that thing that you've gotten so many people to click it, you know, over the course of your channel's existence. And that means you did something right at one point in time. But the subscribe count does not fluctuate with the habits of your viewers, meaning people will come and go, and the subscribe count will not reflect that. So it is not a metric you can use for anything other than vanity. And
thank you.
We love it. I can't say I'm not addicted to watching it, but I also internalize that it's kind of useless.
Well, here's the thing. You can have, so there's people saying, oh, you got to have 1,000 subs. Okay, cool. But that's not going to pay you AdSense. You got to have views. What's the point of having 1,000 subs if you're not getting views?
Yeah. Focus on views because the subs will come. You will get subscribers. You will hit that 1,000 subscribers if you focus on your views and your watch time. The watch time is the tough metric. That's 4,000 hours of watch time means you'll be getting a lot of views and people watching your videos through. You know, they're not just clicking off immediately.
Yep.
That's what stuff you're doing. If you're doing that 4,000 hours, what I want everyone here to do, what I want for all of you is to get that 4,000 hours before you get 1,000 subs, because that means you're going to hit the 1,000 subs. You have nothing to worry about. It's just going to take a little time.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for your support. Now we're going to get into random selections, and we use a special tool for that. It's the claw. I don't have the claw sound effect, Jeff. I'm sorry. You can just say it, I guess. You're muted though.
Can't hear you, Jeff, because you're muted.
I just said, sad horn.
I think I have that. Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
Here. So the claw's going to pick your channels now, not us. We're done. 67. I'm going to use the gaming form because it's been quite a while since we've seen a gaming channel. I'm going to go to 67, and I'm going to go and see your channel link. Thank you for posting your channel link here. We're going to open a tab. We're going to put it here, and we are going to check out HHCB channel. You've taken a picture of your cat or somebody's cat and made it your banner. Definitely attention grabbing. And it looks like you're playing Fortnite. It may be other games too. Maybe some Roblox. There's a lot going on here. There's you spelled Fortnite wrong also, so be careful about that. I'm just picking now. I'm just kind of picking the channel and like taking any little tip I can. We gave a lot of advice earlier in the stream, by the way, for any gaming channels. I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but the first gaming channel we audited at the beginning of the stream today, we did give a lot of our general tips that I'll have to give to this channel too, which is it doesn't seem like your channel has a clear focus. You're playing these different games. The titles and the thumbnails aren't really telling us a whole lot, and they're not telling people on YouTube a lot either, because you're getting, probably not the views you would like to see. Some videos, maybe I saw one with 60 views, but nothing is really taken off. So what I would encourage you to do is keep uploading. There's a point where you said, guess this is goodbye. It makes it look like you're leaving YouTube, and it's gameplay. So I don't really know if that was an announcement or just a funny meme that you did. But overall, I would say keep posting videos and keep practicing. And I want you to look to improve a little bit every time you upload, whether that's thinking of a better title for your videos, whether that's improving your thumbnails, whether that's just your editing, your production value. I want you to keep making content, because that's the only way you're going to get better, is to just practice.
Okay, y'all. Here's the perfect example of what I was just talking about when I said check your spelling. So this most recent video says Star Wars weapons only in Fortnite. But Fortnite is not spelled like Fortnite the game. It's spelled like Fortnite, which means 2 weeks. So when you put that into YouTube, the algorithm is not going to put that in front of Fortnite the game viewers and people that want to watch that content, because it's spelled wrong. So that's why you really have to be sure you check your spelling, because there's a reason why this video only has 11 views in 2 weeks, because the computer it's not putting it in front of the right people because it's spelled wrong. So spelling is crucial, especially if you get the entire brand wrong. Like you got to be careful about this stuff. It matters.
Yeah. So that's our some of our general advice. And again, if you feel like we didn't spend a lot of time on that, it's because we did give a lot of the same advice at the beginning of the stream, but a little bit deeper. So do go back to that. And watch out soon, because come January, I'm going to release my updated how to start a gaming channel video, which will have all kinds of fun tips and tricks for aspiring gaming creators. 568 on the non-gaming forum now, which is very recent. Let's check out Solar 2100, which, oh my, your handle. What happened? Let's see if yeah, that's their channel. My first bit of advice for you, now that handles are rolling out, go into your YouTube settings, go into customization. Maybe I can show you real quick. We go into YouTube Studio. This is for all of you who haven't picked a handle yet. Go into customization, go into basic info, and right here, update your handle and update it to as close to your channel name as possible. We have @vidIQ, for example. These are unique. No one else can have the handle once you have it. And this is the new way people on YouTube are going to be seen. This is how people are going to be able to find your channel. YouTube is pushing this more and more and more. So you do not want to be in this position here as you gain popularity on YouTube. It's going to be increasingly hard for your viewers, your fans who are starting to follow you, to find your channel. So do keep that in mind. Now, this is not a gaming channel. I think it's an animation channel. Who would like to go first?
Sorry, back in. Let's see, what do we got? Hang on. So, not a gaming channel, this is an animation channel. It looks like we've only got, what, 4 videos so far?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't see any shorts or anything either. I don't even see a shorts tab. Interesting. And I get it. You know, sometimes the animation channels can take a little bit of time to get some of these videos together, which is fair. Although these are 14 seconds, 17 seconds, 8 seconds, and 8 seconds. So I think combined, not even a minute's total time on YouTube at all. I would say, if anything, first things first, they would have to start figuring out what cadence is going to work for them first. Secondly, start figuring out who you want your target viewer to be, right? That's one of the things, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes people think, hey, this is what I do. I'm going to upload these videos and that their channel should grow. And that's not necessarily true. It doesn't work for everything. So you want to have a specific target. Like, are you targeting people who want to learn how to animate? Or are you making these videos strictly for entertainment purposes? You really need to start thinking about that. And that way you can start kind of moving your channel in that direction. Because if you want to teach people how to do this, then obviously how-to is going to be the way you want to roll. But secondarily, if you're just using this as showcase of what skills you have, whatever it might be, then really start focusing on that. Like, hey, I just, want to show my skills. I want people to, like it, watch these videos and stuff like that. Then I would start focusing on, what are you animating? Are you animating things that have traffic, that have trendiness, right? Like, are you making animated versions of something that people are actually searching for? Didn't the Pokemon game just recently drop? Last week, right? Mm-hmm. So theoretically, that would have been a good topic to make some sort of animation short around, because it's already got sort of trendiness going on with it. So it really comes down to what the goal of the channel is. And as a new channel, this is something that you really, really need to start focusing. I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started. It's like, hey, what's your goals for this channel? Because then that way I would have not been kind of swimming in circles for that first year. I would have had a direction to go in, and every single video would have been a step in the right direction.
Yes. So yeah, I think this is a good start though for an animation channel. They're getting hundreds of views.
I mean, for sure.
For 61 subscribers, this is great. They are doing animations about video games, it seems. So Pokemon would have been a good one. It's not too late. You could still do a short animation about how glitchy the new Pokemon game is. That's a whole trend in itself.
Yep, exactly. There's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah. But and earlier we saw a channel that was making tiny food, and that was another piece of advice I forgot to give them. But I think it would have been cool to see them do it like a trending thing, using popular TV shows and movies and things like that. So we give this advice a lot to animation channels. It does look like you're hitting on something here, because you're getting quite a few views. So I don't want what we're saying to distract you too much, but at the same time, I do think there's potential here to grow by jumping on these trending topics. Just keep in mind this audience too. Try and keep this audience in mind and try and do animations that you think they would also enjoy. Cool. All right, we'll take another look at the claw here. And we'll pick a gaming channel, number 91 on the gaming forum. And it's going to be Chip Dust. Chip Dust did manage to get their handle at Chip Dust. So congratulations. And congrats on almost 100 subscribers. Love the banner. Obviously a lot of work put into this. They are taking YouTube, I would say, really seriously, just based on the banner and cover art of the channel alone. And I want to say they're playing horror games, maybe? Getting some respectable view counts here on some of these. It looks like Among Us horror game is not doing too terrible for your channel. So my general tips here for gaming channels like this, like you've done something really cool here. You've managed to play some games that people are into. You're getting thousands of views on some of your videos. There's just like one thing missing for me. And right now it's that most popular series you're doing, the Among Us horror game. You're using the same exact title and thumbnail for every single one of the videos in the series, and you're just slapping a different number on them. Now, it's not that it's a bad thumbnail. It definitely, shows an Among Us character in a way that people have not seen one before. I like that. I would like to see something different. The pose change, maybe the character from the side, a different color Among Us character. You can do a similar thumbnail, but make little changes to it. And I would also like to see you, like we talked about earlier, drop the episode numbers. Episode 1 of just about anything tends to do pretty well. And when people realize it's like this recurring series, like Viper said earlier, people who see this episode 3, are they going to click it? Or are they going to think, oh, I'm not in this community, I didn't see the other 2 episodes? Instead, it should be Among Us Horror Game. Maybe the Among Us Horror Game part should be at the last part of the title, and you should say something more interesting than Imposter Hide. The first part of the title should be just a statement that kind of sets this video apart from the other ones, something that makes it interesting. I died so fast in Among Us Horror Game. Something like that draws a bit of intrigue. I think you'll find that your view counts will start going up rather than down as you continue to string the series along. And then, for example, robbing a bank, escaping the prison, you got 8,000 views. This is probably going to hit 10,000 views before long. This is great. I want to see you doing even more, interesting titles as the series continues. It looks like it's this game. Yeah, so this video, and then this one's probably the follow-up. Stealing the diamond, robbing a bank. You're already kind of starting to do it. You're starting to change the titles up a little bit. So keep it up, but I would also investigate why this one got 8,000 and this one got 73. That's kind of interesting too. Maybe the thumbnails here. What do you guys think? Maybe the thumbnails are a bit sometimes overdone. Like, I feel like this was like you really thinking really hard about the thumbnail.
Yeah, I have another criticism though, and it's the update video that you did a few weeks ago, or whatever it was. Here's the thing, you all.
This one.
Yes. Channel update videos are no. We don't do that. When viewers come to your channel, they're coming for the particular content that you're known for or that you set expectations for. They don't care about a channel update. And the other thing that you have to remember about channel updates is that most people, especially when you're starting out, most of the people that see your videos will have never seen any of your videos prior, because YouTube is still testing out your content. They're still sending it out to more and more people trying to figure out who your audience is. So if your video goes out to somebody who's never seen it before, they don't care about your channel update because they've never seen your channel. So why are you wasting that real estate when you could just make a regular video that you would normally make about the subject matter? And here's what you do. If you really want to update people about your channel and what's going on with it and things like that, you can do it one of two ways. Either you could put it inside of a normal video and then put it at the beginning, probably, or at the end. I would say put it at the end of a regular video with your normal content, or you can use that sweet thing that YouTube has given everybody now called the community tab. That is where your channel updates go. They don't go in video. We don't do that. Put them in the community tab or put them in a regular video towards the beginning or the end. And that way you can tell everybody what's going on with you without wasting real estate of an actual video.
Yep, I agree. Even the live stream, that's another option as well if you wanted to do that. But I completely agree. Doing sub celebrations, doing channel updates as regular videos that has nothing to do with your content. Watch how those videos barely get views, and you'll know why. Right. And this is something that I wish people would have told me a long time ago, which is hilarious because I did a sub celebration in a video years ago and I still have people congratulating me on 4,000 subs 3 years later. So that's I learned that lesson. People like, it was like 2 weeks ago. Someone's like, hey, congrats on the 4,000 subs. And I'm like, what? Thanks. Thanks, man. So, but it's one of those things like, don't do that. You got to remember that most of your views are going to come via replay. Months, if not years later. So it's not necessarily a waste of time, but it's a waste of effort on your part. Community tab, take advantage of it. Live stream, if you want to take advantage of it. Like Viper said, if you want to put it in a video, put it at the end. Don't do it in the beginning because you're going to kill your retention. So,
I love this comment. It's not a bad point, but vidIQ literally did their own channel update when Rob took a break. What are you trying to say? Now, yes, we did. However, couple things. That video was not called Channel Update. That video was called So I Have Some News. That video leaned into its own drama. And it's Rob saying he's leaving. there's an element of a little bit of clickbait, even though it's not an untrue video. And also, and I hate to say this and sound like an egotistical maniac, but Rob is kind of a public figure, and we don't know the creator we were just looking at, Chip Test. We don't know you yet, and you haven't reached that level yet to where, because if PewDiePie did it, we wouldn't be sitting here going, PewDiePie made a channel update video, what a nerd. We would be saying, I guess PewDiePie's leaving YouTube, because that's how it's going to be like portrayed. So there's a difference. Just because you see a larger channel doing it doesn't mean that everyone should be doing it. I think this is where the channel update videos come from. People see larger channels making them, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, I can do that. This is a thing everyone does. But it gets 57 views, 54 views.
Dan!
I know, I shouldn't have said it.
Dan, that's not like something that Viper did early in this live stream.
I know. I shouldn't be doing that to people and crushing hopes and dreams.
No, Dan, no.
We do have more channels to select, a lot more channels. The Claw is hungry, but also people are giving super chats. So let's go through just a couple of these real quick. I struggle with the literal making of a video. I'm no expert, but I do anime content, and I'll get in the idea, the title, thumbnail, then I'll get stuck. It's an interesting place to get stuck. I think I'm more motivated than ever once I have my title and my thumbnail here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I think if anything, jot your ideas down, for Najee, if that's how it's pronounced. You have you get your idea, title, thumbnail, jot down some notes and see if that'll help you talk through it. You could turn your camera on and you could just start talking. This is actually how I did it for a long time, where I would talk through a video on camera while I was recording. And then I would be like, all right, let's do it again. And I would hit it a second time. And then I'd be like, okay, that sounded cool. Let me hit it a third time. One upside to this: first, you've already talked through it a couple times, so you already know what to say without wasting time. Two, you warmed up your voice, so you're going to sound a lot more consistent from the beginning to the end of the video. But it's one way that you can kind of help yourself. But taking some notes, and you can physically write them and hang them under your camera. You can put them on a tablet and put them under your camera, and that'll give you an idea of what to talk about. Here's my next talking point. Here's my next talking point. That could be one way to do it. Secondarily, if it's because of burnout, then you have to take a step back. That happens to people. I know people that have done this where they have a million ideas, but they're so burned out on YouTube that they need to take a break. Take a break. If you got to take a break, do it. So don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel guilty about it. Mental health always comes first. But try talking through the videos and see if that helps.
We have one here for a gaming channel. Is it a good idea to put the game name as the title? In the title and a tag. For example, hashtag FS2020 is Flight Simulator 2020.
No. Just use the actual title name. You don't need a hashtag in the title. If you want to use a hashtag, use that in the description. Don't use it in the title.
Right. And think about how YouTube utilizes hashtags. It's not like TikTok and other places where hashtags are encouraged in the title. It's actually utilized in such a way where if you click on the hashtag, anybody who's made a video that's used that hashtag, all of a sudden all those videos are in front of you in no particular order. They're just kind of there floating around. So do you really want to attach your video to a hashtag that everyone else is using, or do you want to make your own unique hashtags that not as many people are going to use? They're going to be more unique to your channel. And then when people click them, they see all the videos related to that hashtag. So you can almost make, in a way, pseudo playlists using these hashtags. No one's going to use them because nobody on YouTube clicks these things. But in the worst case scenario, if someone does, you don't want them to be seeing other people's videos, right? That's my feeling, unless you're doing a collab with somebody. That's my very cynical take on hashtags. This is not true facts or anything, just my perception of them. Gamer1611 just started YouTube. Thank you for the super chat and welcome to YouTube. Best of luck
welcome
in your journey.
to YouTube.
I wish I was looking at YouTube education channels when I started on YouTube. I would have gotten a lot farther, a lot faster. So you're already a step ahead of a lot of people I know.
That's the truth. I can read this one if you want.
You can read this. I cannot. Okay, thank you.
So Game Pro CSR says, por favor, saludos desde Brasil, soy boliviano. So basically saying hi from Brazil, and they're actually of Bolivian descent. So saludos.
Hello. And then we have Danny here, gave us the 13.
Oh, it's from Mexico. Nice.
Oh, Mexico. Okay, cool. And then Codiations. What about game name at the end of every title?
So / game name.
No. Don't.
Wow.
Look how serious Dan got too.
He's like, no.
You can. It's just when I do it, I like to make the game name part of the title. That
Right.
makes sense. So in Grand Theft Auto, like I blew up a car in Grand Theft Auto. You don't need it all the time though. Sometimes, like, because you're going to tag your game when you go into the categories on YouTube anyway. So the metadata is there. YouTube knows what you're doing as long as you're tagging your game properly in your settings. So you don't need it for that reason. If it adds additional context or something, great. But I've seen plenty of gaming videos never touch the name of the game in their title. So if you feel like you're just tacking it on, I wouldn't do it. Unless it's like, maybe it's an indie game and you're trying to rank for search or something. There's going to be reasons to do it. But I would say general rule, if you're playing a popular game, you probably don't need to do it. The thumbnail is going to cover you. You're probably fine. So no. We have one here from Batu. I currently do Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game content. Also, I want to do general gaming. Would it be a good idea to do a combination of the two? So I'm guessing they're asking on the same channel. They want to do their Yu-Gi-Oh! Content and they want to play games. No.
You don't have Dan's permission, okay?
You do not have my permission to do that. Absolutely. If I find you doing that, I will delete your channel.
I can't with y'all today.
I can't delete your channel, but I will. No. I will shame you publicly. I won't do that either.
No, I would suggest if you want to do general gaming, I would start a second channel. Straight up, it's free to create channels. You know, you can have Batu TCG. You know, number 2 Electric Boogaloo, whatever you want to call it, but you can have a second channel that you can do the general stuff. Keep that channel, especially if you're building a community and you're getting views around the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading stuff. Don't try to split your audience. Why are you going to do that to yourself? Right? Don't do it to yourself. If you still want to do the other stuff, I respect it. Put it on a second channel.
Yeah. And then on that note about second channels, keep in mind, it's a lot of work. One channel is a lot of work. So a second channel is just as much work. So I would ask yourself, like, do I have the time to do this in my life? I've tried it. It's hard. It's very hard to run multiple channels, but you can do it, and it should be done on multiple channels. Why are you laughing at me? I'm just...
I was laughing at somebody, ITTV Games said, should I breathe? Dan, no.
Do not have my permission.
You know what? Before we go to the next channel, though, you all talk about doing variety content and your desire to do different things on the same channel, and I'm going to give you the same analogy that I gave you a few months ago. What did you expect, or what did you hope to accomplish when you walk into the bathroom, you all?
What?
Yeah,
Pause.
You're going to the bathroom to use the bathroom, right? You're not going into the bathroom to buy a donut. You're not going into the bathroom to go grocery shopping. You're going to the bathroom to do your business, okay? So you got to think about your channel the same way. When people come to your channel, they're not thinking about this other stuff that you want to do. They're thinking about the thing that you were supposedly known for. So just think about it like that. You know, y'all gotta. Oh,
should have clicked it sooner. Sorry.
Bruh, back to you, Dan.
Yeah, great. I'll follow that. Thanks. Cool. We're looking at channels, I think. Let's see. 469. Everyone behave. We have channel 469. Did we do a gaming channel recently? I can't remember now. We did Chip Dust. That was a gaming channel. 69. All right. It's calm. We're taking this seriously. We do our jobs. We do them well. We are respectful of everyone's time. And it is creator Parsa. 338 subscribers. I think it's a vlogging channel, or maybe they follow influencers and talk about them.
Can we go to the About section?
Yes. Get today's top celebrity news. Celebrity photos, style tips, exclusive video, latest and trending news, information videos, etc. Okay, so you are covering various celebrities and the goings-on in their life. So we have one here with 3.8K views. There's a viral dance that they covered here. Did pretty well. About a 2-minute video. What can we learn from videos like that? Some of these are not I don't think they're in English, so it's kind of hard for me to discern what they're about. What do you think? Anybody? It's just that you're hanging me out to dry here.
Sorry, I was trying to highlight all the super chats that just flooded in.
Thank you for your super chats, everybody.
Why?
Sorry
What
about
about the
that.
green tint in these thumbnails? I'm not understanding. What is it like?
I was going to talk about
This is
that.
the
Yeah,
Matrix.
a lot of your thumbnails are very, very, very green, and maybe it's a stylistic choice, but I would be trying to mess with your white balance settings in your photo editing software to try and correct that, because it doesn't look quite right.
Yeah, that tint is way off. Unless we're talking about the Matrix and the Matrix universe, you don't need that kind of green tint. Just being straight up, you don't need that. And even they were more subtle. So some of this is downright like, yo, what is happening here? I thought it was like my sunglasses were like throwing things off of color, but it's not. It's actually the last three. The last two more heavy, but that last one is just almost has like a greenish yellow tint. Like, what is happening here? Just the natural human colors, man. Like, this is a case of doing too much. You need to dial that back a little bit. Just stick to natural colors. If you want to do something funky with the background, then layer that, separate them, do something funky with the background, but keep the human skin looking human, because it looked downright like zombie-ish in this Again Relationship or Not, the second video. So yeah, I would, keep the natural skin tones, man. It just looks a little funky. That's all.
Yeah. What I would be doing is I'd be looking at my most popular videos, and we can even check, your actual most popular videos. And I would be trying to figure out, okay, what is it about these videos that did so well? It could be the titles, could be the thumbnails. I think for this channel, it's going to be the subject matter. And I say that because you say you're doing like celebrity kind of news videos and things like that. The type of celebrities that you follow then are going to dictate who the audience is that you're targeting with your content. So you have one video that we looked at on the other page where it's like a popular TikToker doing a viral dance. So maybe the kind of content that people respond to are going to be, TikTokers, maybe specifically ones that do different viral dances and things like that. But if you cover, maybe you cover TikTokers who do viral dances, but then you cover movie stars, and now we're talking about maybe there's some overlap, but maybe there's not a lot of overlap. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, again, I wonder if they'll see more consistent view counts if they cover different sides of the entertainment, niche, as it were. But that's as best I can do. It's kind of tough when the language doesn't quite line up, and all we can kind of do is kind of talk about thumbnails and look for little bits of clues here and there. All right, let's move on. Let's ask the Claw what to do next here, and then we'll get to some super chats. 154 on the gaming forum. All right. Looks like they primarily do live streams, so this should be interesting. You have that section on the forum now asking you what kind of content you primarily make on YouTube, and there's these fun tabs. So we got videos, we got shorts, and we got live streams, and it looks like the last stream you did was 10 days ago. So I'm going to click into live streams, because if that's what they're telling us their main thing is, the advice I would give them, of course, is to take clips from their live streams, turn them into long form videos, titles, thumbnails, blah, blah, blah. We talk about that all day. Let's talk about live streams. So streaming for an hour, 2 hours, all that works for me. I want to see more custom thumbnails on your live streams. Other platforms that you live stream on don't ask you to do custom thumbnails. YouTube, you have the unique benefit to do custom thumbnails. You should absolutely do that as part of your live streaming planning ritual. If you're going to play Toontown, which is fantastic, like great. I like that you're just playing this very specific game. Take the time to make some thumbnails for those live streams. I want to see Toontown rewritten. What kind of content is working really well? There's Toontown TV with almost 20,000 subscribers. Look at how vibrant and colorful these thumbnails are. Even the ones that are just primarily text are not half bad.
Yeah, they pop.
Yep. I would say your biggest source of maybe inspiration should be Mega Snoop and Toontown TV channels to look to. If I were doing research, I would look at those channels and say to myself, okay, my ceiling for this content, the maximum amount of subscribers I could hope to possibly get is 30,000, because this channel right here is 30,000. Can I find a better one? There's a channel here that revisited Toontown. I assume this isn't their only type of content, but they have 435,000 subscribers. So maybe there's an opportunity to do Toontown and other similar fun, colorful MMOs. So maybe that's where we start to plan out a little bit about the types of branching out your content can do in the future. So, a lot of research to be had there, but ultimately I can tell you, sorry about that. I can tell you that your thumbnails are definitely in need of being custom. You're just kind of using screen grabs from the game right now, and we need them to be high quality custom thumbnails. And then I would be thinking about your titles. Even live streams need good titles. And right now you have live streams that don't really tell us a lot about what we're going to see. Like you have one here, live play Toontown rewritten. What's your goal for the day? It's okay if you don't hit your goal, right? It's just to give your day of live streaming purpose. What are you trying to do in this live stream? Give the audience at least that. Because with YouTube, the titles, the thumbnails you can do, they're great because they're going to tell people what it is they're getting into if they're going to click your live stream. So those are just some general live streaming tips. Jeff and Viper, both of you live stream. Any additional tips here for this channel that's honestly only a few weeks old doing this? I think for this amount of streams they've done, this is great. Viper, I think you're muted.
Yeah, will kind of help if I unmute the microphone. But yeah, Dan, I think you were kind of right. When you are titling your live streams, you got to have some type of purpose to the live stream. Like, why should, again, it goes back to the same thing I said earlier about why people should click on your non-live stream. Why should somebody stop and watch your content? The thing that some of you all don't understand is that when we choose to watch a video, there has to be some type of reason or logic to why we would stop and click on your video. You have to provide that in your title or thumbnail, preferably both. Provide a reason, provide some logic for why I, Dan, Jeff, Travis would stop and watch your video. When you provide that logic and that context, it makes it a lot easier for a potential viewer to watch your stuff. But if you're just doing generic titles and generic thumbnails, and you're not providing any context or any logic, then your video probably gonna get scrolled by because there's no reason to stop. So you got to provide some context.
Yeah, I mean that's really the thing, and the approach I take with live streams on my own channel, because that's really become sort of the main point of my channel, at least in the past few months, has been I approach live streams with the same technique that I approach videos. So the same pre-production goes into it. The only difference now is I don't have to edit. That's the only difference. So I still approach it with coming up with the topic, doing the research, doing the thumbnail, doing the title, making sure that what I'm going to talk about in my live stream is something that my viewers actually want to watch, right? Do they want to watch? Is that going to make them show up? And doing that makes a difference, at least on my channel for what I'm seeing. When I do just a random live Q&A, I may get something like 50, maybe 100 concurrent viewers. When I make it about a topic that people want to watch, I think just this past weekend on Sunday, I had nearly 300 concurrent viewers because I made it about a timely topic about Black Friday deals, and a ton of the community showed up. So it depends, but I always take that approach with it. Approach it with that in mind. Your thumbnail, your title, what you're going to talk about, have a game plan, have notes. I always have my notes and everything ready to go. So that's the thing I always want to stress to live stream channels is treat them like videos and don't waste viewers' time, because you can get people think a live stream is just while it's live. Don't forget that a live stream lives on your channel and has replay value if you create it as such to have replay value.
Yep. So yeah, those are our tips for live streaming channels. Got a lot of other tips for you if you go earlier in the stream, just about videos and shorts and things like that. But you're doing great. Like, you're creating that content ecosystem we talk about by taking live streams, taking fun clips of them, turning them into YouTube shorts, throwing them out there. Keep going, keep practicing. And yeah, you can only go up from here. This is awesome. This is a really good start. All right. So we have a whole bunch of super chats before we get to the next channel. And want to thank you all for your super chats and in some cases just questions, some cases just saying hello. We wish El Jefe, Viper, and that guy with the beard. Oh, that's Dan. We wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you, Michael and Tish. Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
What's up, Michael?
Should I go back and delete old videos on my channel? I do not main, and they're not getting views anymore.
I would unlist. I would not delete.
Mm-hmm. If they're not getting views anymore, yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference. But I would, unlist them. Don't just delete them.
Yeah.
That's gonna. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you could always put them into a playlist, even if they're unlisted. You can put them in a playlist, and if you ever want to show people, like, hey, check out when I used to do these other videos about random stuff, then you can always share it with them. But I would not delete them. I would just unlist them.
Hey, before we move on, Jeff, can you please explain the difference between unlisting and deleting a video on YouTube?
Well, I mean, mostly with unlisting is basically pulling it out of search. So basically what you're doing is if somebody searches, like, let's say you made a video about, let's say Coca-Cola, and somebody types in Coca-Cola review or whatever it might be, your video won't appear and it won't be suggested either. So it pulls it out of those algorithms, but it still exists. You can still share a link with somebody to it, or you can put it in a playlist and it can still appear there. When you delete the video, it's gone. You lose the views, you lose the watch hours, you lose all of it. So just want to make that clear. This is why I never delete videos. I unlist them or private them, but I don't delete.
Viper, but with the bathroom logic, you could be getting dressed, doing your makeup, cleaning, a spa day. So I don't know if the analogy tracks.
So I'll tell a story real quick. So I used to go out in my 20s. I used to go to a club, right? And in the club, there used to be this dude that was waiting in the bathroom selling different things like mouth what the hell thing for your like thumb or mouth. Huh?
Video games?
No, not video games. He would sell like different amenities for like either like fragrances or things to make your breath smell good, things like that. And I'm pretty sure the man made a bunch of money because obviously he was in the bathroom at a club. He was in the men's bathroom selling this stuff, and he made a lot of money probably. But is that really a good place to sell stuff in the bathroom when people coming off the? I don't think so. That's what I'm trying to say. When you think about your YouTube channel, think about how you want to walk into somebody else's YouTube channel, or how you want to, or what you want somebody to think anyway when they walk into your house or your business. You don't want somebody to walk into your business and think about, what am I in the right spot? What's going on here? So that's why I talk about just keeping everything on the same playing field and not trying to do too much.
I think there's different things that I've seen that kind of thing in bathrooms that they sell. I wouldn't sell sandwiches in a bathroom, but no. If it's things related to toiletries, things like that, it makes sense at least. Mm-hmm. But I see the analogy. I just started YouTube as a tarot reader. Do you have any guidance for tarot channels? If this has been covered, I apologize. I'm just joining. I don't know if we've looked at a tarot channel, at least not in some time.
Yeah, it's been a minute since the last time we did one, because I remember doing one with Rob a while back. So, but at least in experience wise, I've spoken to quite a few. So there's different approaches when it comes to tarot. Some of them are doing daily. Some of them are doing multiple a day. Some of them are doing it via live stream so that they can do it live with people. So there's a ton of different ways to go about doing it. More than anything else is research. And I know we don't want to do all that studying, but you have to get on YouTube. You have to research to try to see what works and what doesn't for successful channels in your niche. And I don't mean copying them, but getting an idea of what does the tarot audience actually click on and what they don't. So look for patterns of success. If you're looking at 5 different channels that are doing tarot, and you notice that when all 5 channels make a similar type of video, that it always works. But when they all make another type of video and it always bombs on all those channels, that should give you a clue as to what the audience actually wants from a tarot channel. And this applies to not just tarot channels. I'm just doing this specifically for 1144 messages, but this applies to anything. It could be, you could switch out tarot channel with gaming or with tech or with makeup and beauty. Same thing applies.
Dad Plays Games says, my problem is reach. How do I reach more people? That's what we all want. That's why we're here. It's all about your audience. That's all. Like at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's identifying an audience for the content that you want to make. And there's a balance here. The YouTuber gets to kind of choose who they want to make their content for to a degree. And the way you choose that is first by going out and saying, okay, I like these things. It doesn't have to be a specific game. We're just in general. Like I'm really good at cooking. I'm really good at these specific games or whatever it is. Start to go into the different communities that exist on YouTube around those things to give you some idea as to what kind of channel is successful. Because if you just kind of make something up, like I'm going to be original and different, I'm going to do something no one's ever done before, well, there might not be an audience for that. So it's all about having, you know, a clear idea of who you're making content for, and you get to kind of be in control of that a little bit. You get to kind of choose what kind of audience do I want to cultivate on my channel, and not just what kind of topic is going to get views, but also how do I want that audience to behave? How do I want that audience to behave in my comment section? Like you really get, like, as the creator, once you kind of understand these principles, like you get to dictate a lot of what happens. You know, help me out here, Jeff. You know where I'm going with this.
No, I completely agree. You made the point, so no worries there, man.
Over-explaining it. Like, I feel
don't
I'm
over-explain
this,
it.
But I know what I'm saying. Let's see. We have Kingdom 25 here. Say you pivot your channel's content. Is it best to keep your old videos or unlist them?
Yeah, I would say so. Just to kind of reiterate what I said before. Normally, I would say unlist them, but the only but here is if you haven't reached monetization goals yet, because you will lose the watch hours, you will lose the views. So wait. So wait. If you're doing a pivot before you're monetized, wait. This goes for anybody, even if you haven't pivoted. If you just feel like, oh, my old videos are crappy, I want to enlist them, don't do it. Not until you're well into monetization. You know, you're already into like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 subs. Your watch hours are through the roof. Then at that point, cool, you can afford to take that hit, but don't do it prior.
We have a similar question here. A little bit different though. This channel, their first video got 100K views, so it went kind of viral for them in their space. But it's not a space they ever wanted to commit to. That classic that we've all been there. I guess not all of us, but a bunch of us have been there. Should I enlist it since it's bringing me the wrong viewers?
Yeah. Because if you don't enlist it, what's that, Dan?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
There's one thing you need to keep in mind. Is it getting views today? And if you're monetized, like, is it passive income for you? There might be a better case whereby you just make a new channel. But either way, you should distance yourself from it.
Yeah. Because if you don't enlist it, you're going to get the wrong audience that keep coming to your channel for that type of content, and you're not making that content. So even if you bring them in, eventually you're going to dip off when they realize that you're no longer making that content. So I would just unlist it. But
yep.
Dan makes a good point though.
I have an example from like ages ago. I thought, I'll relaunch my old gaming channel. That'll be fun. And I dug into the analytics and realized this is like actually a little bit of passive income. Like it's still getting views on really old content. And if I relaunch it with a new subject, it's going to tank. So instead I did my experiment on a different channel and left that one alone. So yeah, it's kind of that's your choice there. Why is it worth enlisting them versus leaving them? I think if we covered this now, we literally just did.
Well, not the why, but do you want to take that one, Viper?
Sure. So like Jeff already explained earlier, when you enlist the video, it literally just takes it out of the algorithm. So like Dan, what you're talking about, if you have a video go viral, but that's not the type of content that you want to make and be known for, then it might be worth considering to unlist that video, because that takes that video out of the algorithm and you won't be bringing in the wrong audience. Leaving the video, I mean, you could leave the video, but again, if it's something like, if it goes viral or if it's bringing you a lot of views, if it's bringing you the most views of anything on your channel, but that's not the type of content that you want to be known for, then you're bringing in the wrong people and they're going to just dip out anyway. You're not going to get the views that you want to get because your most popular video is still bringing in the wrong people. So that's why you want to unlist the video. Again, if you completely delete a video, you lose the watch hours, you lose the views, you lose everything. That's why we are so against deleting a video. It's always better to unlist than delete, but that's why you want to unlist the video versus just leaving it alone.
So Boxer Mom says, Viper, I suppose it depends on what you're selling.
All right, you can go to the next one. But thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you.
Yes. And then Roy says, I go to the restaurant and watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, I do TikTok so my legs don't fall asleep.
Oh, Lord. I can't remember
Viper,
y'all.
you did this to us, okay? I just want you to know that. People are paying to let you know what you've done. And then Gruntwork says, I've split my audience by making different genre videos, game videos for a long time. Of my 11,000 viewers, 30% cover a dead game, 50% a 10-year-old game tips. I kind of wish you were more specific, because when you say 10-year-old game, I think like maybe you mean Minecraft or something, and then you're saying there's a dead game. I'm going to go very general on you. If you pivoted your channel and a bunch of your viewers fell off because they didn't want to follow you for your pivot, I'm going to say that you should commit to your pivot. That's what I would do. Whatever you decide to do, if you're playing a game and you pivot to a different game, even if it's a very similar game, you're going to lose some people, but you've pivoted for a reason, right? It's a more interesting game to you. Maybe it's a more interesting game to a lot of people. And that means if you commit to the pivot, whoever you lose, you're going to make up for in spades by all the new viewers you're going to gain, but you have to stop looking at your views the way they used to be, and you need to focus on what they're going to be, which is not easy to do. It's hard to visualize that, but that's the key to making like a successful pivot on any kind of channel. Commit to it. Just, this is my channel now. And if you have old videos of that game that are bringing in a whole bunch of viewers like we've been talking about, then unlist those unless they're, you know, really big sources of passive income. Then consider starting a whole new channel around this new game. But that's up to you. That's all on you. We're getting so many super chats today. I'm surprised at how popular it is for us to kind of hang out answering questions with super chats.
Well, the thing is, we are giving different information than usual. So I think a lot of the audience finds that very valuable. Not just the people that are asking the super chats or dropping the super chats, but also the rest of the audience as well. So
yes, this is all part of it. This is all part of channel audits, because this is stuff we don't normally get to talk about. Some channels don't give us the platform to like have these conversations. Working on new videos every day, improving all the time. Thanks for the tips. You've been helping me a bunch. 100 hours away from monetization. Nice. Congrats.
Heck yeah, man. Almost there. Home stretch, baby.
You got this. Brandon says, started a personal finance channel 2 months ago. Congrats. Welcome to YouTube. I'm integrating all the tips here. How many subs to expect after 20 videos? Are free consults with a millionaire a good sub niche or sub? It says sub entice. I don't know what they meant by that. Where to seed vids? I don't know what that last question is.
Well, maybe by where to seed vids is like where to put their videos out there to try to bring in external traffic would be my guess. But firstly, don't expect any subs after any particular amount of videos. Like that's just not how YouTube works. So just to be very clear, Mr. King, you put up the videos. If subs come in, cool. If they find your content valuable enough to come back for more videos, then they'll subscribe. But I would not focus on that at all. Like that to me that's just an aside. Subs coming in and sub growth is an aside. I would not focus on that at all. I would be focusing on making content that people want to watch. Focus on views. Don't focus on subs, first of all. And then free consults with a millionaire, good sub. I'm not sure exactly. Not necessarily. I don't think that's going to get people to sub to your channel. If anything, I'd be charging for consultations if it's in a specific niche for a specific thing. Like, okay, cool, free consultation with a millionaire. For what though? Mm-hmm. For what? Is it business advice? Are you, what's the point? That sounds more like an email list kind of thing, or where your channel becomes a funnel to a business. That sounds more like something for that. And then where to seed videos externally, that would be people in groups that are already into this type of content. But outside of that, I would just focus on YouTube, making better videos that people want to watch more than anything else first. Let's not put the cart in front of the horse here.
All right, so the whole free consult with a millionaire thing, that's not going to really get the job done. What you need to do is provide results. And then your title should be something like, I did this to accomplish this or get here. People want to see results and they want to see how you got the results. So that is the big thing on YouTube. If you made, let's say you were able to make $100,000 in a month, then that's more interesting to people than free consult with a millionaire, because they want to know the steps that they could possibly take to get $100,000 in a month. So give the results, put the results out there, and then provide some context to how you got those results.
For the millionaire thing, and they're probably doing it this way, but like what comes to mind for me is, if you made $1 million doing computer programming, that doesn't really do much for me because I can't replicate that. So it always has to be something too that appeals to that. You know, people who want to make money, but it's all about like, well, okay, what are you good at? It's just like YouTube, right? We all want views. Well, what are you good at? So it needs to be that all-encompassing thing. Like a lot of people use side hustles, and then they'll talk about making $1 million doing a side hustle, and that sounds a lot more approachable than it just depends how you made all your money. If you made your money in a way that would intimidate most people, or most people wouldn't really have that skill set, that's also not going to be super helpful. If you're like, free consults with the millionaire, how did you make your fortune? So that's going to be my first question. So yeah, but no, really interesting questions. The last thing I was going to say to this one was where to seed vids. A lot of videos that you search for now show up on Google. Like if you're searching on Google, videos will surface as results. So that could be like popular search terms. Make videos answering those questions, and then you might find your videos find themselves on Google. You won't even have to do anything. All right, we got one here from Penhoff Gaming. Thank you for the super chat. Sitar Nick, #1 sitarist on TikTok. Growing on YouTube is slow. Is it different? Yes, it is different. How to market that content on YouTube? I would definitely stick to shorts.
Yep.
Music is a tough niche on YouTube. Stick to shorts. And the strategies that capture people's attention on TikTok, I feel like are similar. YouTube Shorts is still just a different beast. There's just different types of themes on YouTube Shorts. Different types of things are happening over there. So, you know, I'm going to say it's going to take some time, I think.
Yeah,
I think TikTok
one
just is a
doesn't
different
automatically
algorithm.
Yeah, one doesn't automatically lead to the other. If you have success on TikTok, I've seen so many people struggle. Like you would be shocked at how many channels and creators I've spoken with who try to turn their TikTok success into YouTube success, and it's very difficult. And yes, YouTube is difficult. Like a lot of people in the chat know this. YouTube is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would have 100 million subs. It's not. There's a reason why Mr. Beast is at the level that he's at. It's because he outworks literally all of you and us. Dan, Viper, he outworks everyone, right? And it's hard. So that's the thing. It's going to be different. It's going to be very difficult, but I would agree with Dan. I would definitely stick to the shorts on YouTube for sure. Please make sure that you're not uploading videos on shorts on YouTube with the TikTok watermark. Try to avoid that if at all possible.
Yeah.
But that's where I would definitely go into it with doing it that way. But it could be slow going. You have to get ready to do this for the long haul. Most of the successful channels that you see on YouTube, they're not overnight successes. Let's just put it that way. It takes time.
This just a tip here from Roy: aim first, shoot second, be smart with your time. Flory for the super chat there, thank you so much. And then Gamer just started YouTube. Yes, welcome to YouTube, and thank you all for your super chats.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks everybody. You did it. You ran us out of time. I watch your videos a lot, and I thought I was doing everything right, but I'm just not getting any views, ideas. I mean, Jeff?
Well, the whole thing is this, and this is going to be the last one we're going to take, obviously, because now we're going over time. So please, thank you for the super chats, but this is going to be the last one we do. Without knowing what your channel's about or what you're doing, it's very difficult to answer this question. So one thing I would say is this: I'd be making sure first that you're focused on a particular viewer, right? So if I go to the channel and I see a bunch of different topics, or if you're doing gaming and I see a bunch of different games, then you're literally shooting yourself in the foot and you're hurting your own growth because you're not focusing. So that's first. Second, research. A lot of the stuff that we've been talking about today, when people say, I've been listening to all this advice and I've been listening to Rob and Dan for months and Viper for months, and then I go to the channel and they are literally doing nothing of what we've been saying, then that's cap. Because you're saying all this stuff that you're accepting advice, but you're sure not showing it. Your channel does not show that. So make sure that you're actually doing this. Make sure you're slowing down, that you're taking the time to research. What are the thumbnails looking like in this niche? What are the titles looking like in this niche? What topics do the viewers of this niche want to see? And basically you have to kind of stop making selfish videos. Stop always weighing out like, what do I want to make, but what do viewers want to watch? And where's the alignment there, right? Where's the alignment between what the viewers want to watch and what I want to make or am willing to make? And that way you can start seeing some growth in that way. But that's one of the things I want to make sure you're focused on. Focus on audience first. That's one of the things that can help. But that's just as general advice I can get without actually looking at your channel. But hopefully that helps not just you, but a lot of the people in the chat that claim they're following vidIQ's advice, but when we go to their channels, they're certainly not. So hopefully that hits home a little bit.
YouTube is definitely a compromise between you and the viewers.
Yep.
That's really what it is. You want to, we all just want to sit back and you put it, not edit our videos, just record and then upload. There's a give and take there. It is truly a job, whether or not you're getting paid for it, unfortunately. Cool. So thanks everybody. We'll be back tomorrow doing video reviews. That starts at the same time it did today, but video reviews rather than channels. Look at your clocks, subtract 2 hours. That's when we'll be live again. I'll get that video scheduled on the channel here in just a bit. And that's it. You can go. You're dismissed. I'll allow it. See everybody.
I am mere days away from the final cancellation of Rob Wilson from vidIQ.
I have succeeded. I have controlling interest of vidIQ. I bought 51% share. You're fired. Whoa!
That is it. I'm out of here. I have had a lucrative offer.
What?
And I think it is time.
No! No! No!
Hold
No! No!
on.
Don't let him say it! Don't let him say it! Cut the feed!
Decided